Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here, and it's time to take a look at the least expensive way that you can get an M1 chip in your hands, and that is with the Apple Mac Mini, which starts at $699. Now, I have never used a Mac Mini. When it comes to desktops, I have a custom-built Windows computer. However, with Mac OS, I've generally only used the MacBook Pro, MacBook Air that runs it, and then if I do want that desktop experience, I just plug it into an external monitor with a Thunderbolt cable, which is what I'm doing behind me right now. So it'll be pretty interesting to check out a Mac OS desktop. And obviously with its very small form factor, you are limited to the amount of ports that it does have. However, it again has that M1 chip inside. So I'm excited to check it out. We'll take a quick look what comes in the box, and then of course get some hands-on with the setup process and maybe run some tests as well. Let's get started. And here is a look at Apple's mini desktop, the Mac Mini. This is the least expensive model you can get, the base model at 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage on that SSD. Now, opening up our box, inside we have the Mac Mini, which is, as expected, very small, pretty crazy actually how small of a form factor this is. We're gonna set it to the side for now and see what else we get. Standard, designed by Apple in California, our information on it, and one Apple sticker. And finally, just a power connector that connects to your Mac Mini. Would have been nice to see a USB-C to USB-C cable, but it's Apple, so I guess you can't really expect that. And generally, monitors will come with the cables for your desktop. On to the Mac Mini. Let's peel off this plastic, set it to the side. Now let's take a close look at the hardware. Actually, one more thing to peel off on the back. Just a sticker covering all of the ports. On the front of the Mac Mini, you do have a status light moving along on the right side. Let's go all the way to the back where all the ports are. So you have your power button right here, your power slot, an Ethernet port, which of course you're gonna get more ports in this compared to the MacBook Air, MacBook Pro laptops. You have two Thunderbolt USB-C connections, HDMI slot. You've got ventilation for the fan that is inside, two USB Type A slots, and a headphone jack. So generally, the extra ports you're gonna get is the USB-A slots, HDMI port, and an Ethernet slot in this desktop. Again, a little bit different than a laptop for sure, but just comparing what's out there with the M1 processor for now. On the top, you've got that reflective Apple logo, and flipping it down towards the bottom is just the base, which has a little bit of grip to it, and it's also raised up slightly so that it will kind of sit up, probably help with some heat dissipation, and a little bit of branding at the bottom with Mac Mini etched in. So let's grab our power cable and our Mac Mini, get it all plugged in to the monitor, keyboard, mouse, and power, and start the setup process. And this brings us to our sponsor, so big thanks to Rampow for sponsoring this video. We're gonna take a look at Rampow's 36-watt 2-port USB-C wall charger that I have been using, especially since the iPhone 12 does not come with a wall adapter. A big reason I like this wall charger so much is because it has not just a USB Type-C port, but also a USB Type-A port for output and charging. And when you do use just the USB-C port, you're going to get 30 watts of charge. And if you use them both together, you get 18 watts out of both ports. Along with its small and compact size, the plug is actually foldable, so you can fold it in, which I'm a big fan of, so it isn't sticking out and it's much easier to carry with you when you're traveling. You'll also get a safer charge. It has a UL, FCC, ROHS certification and a safeguard chip inside to not just protect the charger, but also the devices that it is charging, so you're gonna get a more stable, safer charge at a lower working temperature. Rampow also offers a lifetime warranty, so be sure to click the link down below in the description for this 36-watt dual charger, USB-C, USB Type-A. Link is down below. So we are all set. I've got it plugged into the power outlet along with the USB-C lightning connection to my monitor. So let's go ahead and get this booted up, power it up for the first time. Press the power button there, and on the front, oh, there is actually a speaker built into the Mac Mini, and you do have the status indicator going off. We are all plugged in and ready to go with the new Mac Mini. I'm gonna run through the setup process and only talk about anything noteworthy. You do have some accessibility settings within the startup, such as appearance. I like to turn on auto for light and dark mode. They have speak selection, typing feedback, hover text. You can actually zoom in as well. There's even closed captions if you'd like to turn that on, and the screen can flash for specific alerts instead of playing an alert sound. You have your migration assistant to transfer data from Mac, Time Machine Backup, Startup Disk, or from a Windows PC. I'm not going to do that for now. We are all set up and ready to go with our new Mac Mini. I'm going to quickly change our desktop background to my favorite one from Big Sur. This is definitely my favorite one. If you can get this downloaded, I highly recommend this wallpaper. Anyways, one thing I'm noticing with the Mac Mini is that I kind of do wish they added maybe a fingerprint scanner. I'm gonna have it within reach because I want to be able to access the ports on the back. So again, depending on your workflow, you might not need it, but I thought it'd be kind of a nice addition to have a fingerprint scanner for login, which most desktops don't, just kind of a thought. Let's dive into our system preferences, go into displays. Right now it's default for scaled. It recognizes this is an LG 4K monitor that I have right now. I can turn on high dynamic range if I'd like to, because this monitor does support HDR. You see it in the upper right hand corner there. I'm gonna uncheck it for now. You also can go to scaled if you'd like a little bit more space. If I go all the way down, you'll see how much smaller things are. If I do jump into Safari and go into a full screen web page, let's go to youtube.com. You'll see how much actually will fill up this screen. But of course, that's not necessarily practical. It's a little bit too small for my liking, so I'll generally scale it down maybe one section. So there we go. So it does really fill up just about the whole screen. One more quick monitor test. I plugged my Mac Mini into this monitor, which is my gaming monitor. So this will be a 144 hertz monitor. So let's go ahead and test that out very quickly. It doesn't seem like it is enabled by default just by looking at some of these animations. Let's dive into displays, and it's not. You'll see 60 hertz right here. You can crank that up to 144 hertz. Let's enable it and see what it looks like. Now keep in mind, this isn't just 144 hertz, it's 144 hertz at 1440p, so I can confirm that the new M1 Mac Mini does support that. Just want to make note of a couple things. First of all, there is Bluetooth built into the Mac Mini, and then if I go over to sound, you can select your specific sound output, whether your monitor has speakers, you want to plug speakers in, or use the Mac Mini speakers. And a couple of things that I do right out of the box on all of my Mac products is uncheck scroll direction natural. So when I do use a mouse, it's generally scrolling straight down and going up. I generally always turn that off if I'm using a mouse. One more, under keyboard and text, I always uncheck correct spelling automatically. There's too many times where it just has replaced it with the wrong word and I didn't notice and it was just wrong, so I always uncheck this. We do have a software update, so I'm gonna get that installed and also install Final Cut Pro, and we'll do some testing, so let's get this updated. And overall, that is everything I wanted to talk about with the new Mac Mini with the M1 chip. Again, very impressed with this processor overall, whether it's in any of the new laptops or of course this Mac M1 Mini. Anyways, drop a comment. Let me know if you're picking up one of the new Mac Minis. A lot more content coming soon. Be sure to click the subscribe button. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.